is that thing on here? For those of you tuning into this later, just go to dailycryptobull.com to get the offer. dailycryptobull.com. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff here, about how to get passive yield on Bitcoin, stablecoin, Solana, and ETH. Basically, acquire Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, stablecoin for free every single day, passively, while you eat, sleep, do whatever you're doing. What's up, Linwood? I'm going to give people a couple minutes to come in here. Give people a couple minutes to come in, move on over from TikTok. What's up, Mario? Yeah, it's been a while. Like I said, TikTok is just not friendly to crypto content. And I'll be doing a live stream, and maybe somehow I say the wrong words and the AI listening system takes it the wrong way, and it just says, fraud, scam, and closes my stream and gives me a strike on my account. And I'm like, I didn't fucking do anything. And I'm just so tired of it. It's been happening for years. I've been battling with it for years, and I'm just exhausted. So far, YouTube doesn't really do that. But I don't have the following over here I have on TikTok. So I got to start the streams on TikTok and then move really good things like this that I can't talk about on TikTok. I got to move them over here. And the people that want to come learn about it, they come over here. Looks like about 11 of you are on here. We're going to dive right into it. I'm going to give it another minute or two. I got to run to the restroom and take a piss. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay. Ooh, there's 30 people on here. All right. So what we're going to be talking about, I showed you all that stuff a little bit on TikTok to kind of, show you a little taste as quickly as I could without getting flagged, is what we're really talking about here is we're talking about DeFi, decentralized finance, right? Because the world we've always known is centralized finance, the banking system, the casinos, the credit cards, stuff like that, borrowing and lending, right? That all exists in centralized finance. And who makes more money than the people that run that thing? Banks, casinos, credit cards, etc. They make a lot of money. But we can't participate in that. We can only be used in that system. But in decentralized finance, DeFi, you and me, we can be the bank. We can be the casino. We can be Coinbase. We can be Robinhood. We can be the credit card companies. That's what decentralized finance allows us to do. That's exciting, right? So that's how all this stuff is happening, right? And there's really three main things that you can do in DeFi. You can be the bank, you can be the house, the casino, and you can be Coinbase. You can serve the role of all three of those. Banks. What do banks do? They lend money, right? And then they get interest on that money. So the first thing I'm going to show you is be the bank. How to be the bank in decentralized finance and how that works. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. And it mostly has to do with stablecoins. you lending your stable coins. Although you can lend Solana, you can lend Ethereum, you can lend Bitcoin. I just find that the best value in it is lending stable coins, right? And currently, one of my favorite places to do it, how do I flip this around? We're getting around 7.5%, and this is the PayPal stable coin, right? And there's about $200 million in deposits in that, right? There's a lot of TVL here. TVL stands for total value locked. So 7.5% to just park your cash here isn't a bad deal. Because where else could you do that? Nowhere. And what's really interesting is that your money's not locked up. You can withdraw it whenever you want, including the yield that you've acquired. And let's be very clear, this is all passive every single day. You could put cash in there right now and be getting about 7.5%, just sitting there. And that may not get you super excited, but it is a big upgrade from your money sitting in your goddamn bank account getting you zero, right? And the fact that you can withdraw it all whenever you want, including your yield, is a pretty big fucking deal. So this already is the best place on the planet to just park cash. There's nothing that pays more than it. And you may be thinking, well, if I park my stable coin here, what if someone borrows it? Because when someone borrows it, that's who pays you interest. When they borrow it, well, what if they don't pay me back? Excellent question. So here's the deal. In decentralized finance, let's say you deposit $1,000 in one of these protocols, okay? And now you're getting 7.5% yield. And sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It can be up to maybe 15%. Doesn't really go much below 5%, right? Nonetheless, you put it in there and you can take it out whenever you want. No, there's no permissions, no one to stop you, no one cares. You just click a couple buttons and you withdraw it. And you can always deposit more. But let's say you put $1,000 of stablecoin in there and someone borrows it and they're paying you maybe 7.5% interest, okay? Well, you're like, well, how do I know that person's gonna pay me back? Here's the deal. If they're gonna borrow $1,000 from you, they need to put up collateral. So to borrow $1,000 from you, they're probably gonna need to put up at least $1,500 in collateral. And maybe that's in the form of Solana or Ethereum or Bitcoin or hell, other stablecoin. Now here's the deal, why you don't have to pay attention to any of this and why it's totally passive. Because say they borrow $1,000 from you and they put up $1,500 worth of Solana as their collateral. Well, what if that Solana goes down in value? Well, if Solana goes down in value, they borrowed $1,000 from you, they deposited $1,500 of Solana. If that Solana goes down to say $1,200 in value, the protocol immediately liquidates that Solana to pay you back plus interest. So it's completely hands off and completely protected because they're all collateralized loans. Pretty awesome, right? And again, you can withdraw money out of here whenever you want. So it's not like, oh God, I need it. Oh, I gotta wait 30 days to get it back. No, not at all. You can withdraw it in seconds, 24/7, 365. There's no catch to that. That's just how it works normally, all the time. And you can always deposit more. And you can withdraw it plus whatever yield you've gained, right? So there's multiple places that do this. But I use the ones that typically have the most reputation, have the most money in them, et cetera, right? The ones with the best history, the ones with the most money in them, right? And this one over here that we're looking at is paying about 7.5% currently. And this number fluctuates. It's not like it's a set amount. It fluctuates based on supply and demand, mostly on demand, right? Currently there's over $300 million deposited in here, okay? So pretty well capitalized. And here's another one that pays even more. Let me load it up. So these are a couple stable coins. This is over on the Hyperliquid network. These are paying, this top one, USDHL, which is a stable coin, is paying about 20% currently. And the Tether over here is paying 11%. And again, these numbers fluctuate based on demand for how many people want to borrow, right? More people that want to borrow, the interest rate goes up more. But I would say you can kind of bank on 7-8% average currently. And that number goes way up during the bull market, right? Because in the bull market, there's more demand for using these borrow lending protocols in DeFi, okay? And save your questions for now, because I just want to explain how all of this works. And then there'll be a time for questions. I'll probably answer a lot of your questions. Now it's best for you to just listen. If you know a ton about DeFi already, this may not be very valuable for you, but I assume most of you in here don't know how to use DeFi and don't really know all that much about it. So that's who this is really for here today. User says 7.5% is lower than the S&P 500 average. Why wouldn't you park your money in Solana coin instead? When you're sitting in cash getting yield, it's just going up. It never goes down. It only goes up. So when you put cash over here, it's because you don't want to deal with the volatility of the market, right? When you put it in this particular strategy, be the bank. Because you just want to park your cash somewhere safe and not deal with the up and downs, especially good in uncertain times. And I think that we're kind of in uncertain times still. Depends what you want to do. This is a tool. Use it as you see fit for whatever strategy of the market. Here's the deal. I guarantee you have money sitting in a bank, how much is that paying you? 0. They may even be charging you money to hold your money. And they themselves are making money on your money. Whereas you can have a good chunk of your bank account just sitting over here, getting yield. And whenever you need it, you just withdraw it and send it to your bank. That's quite an upgrade. This isn't meant to make you rich. This is meant to get a tool in your tool belt to give you options in different environments. There's really not an environment where I don't have some money over here doing this, because it's the best yield on cash on the planet without any volatility, because that's what yield on cash is. Okay? That's be the bank. That's strategy 1. Okay? It just gets more exciting from here. Okay? Now we move on to another one called being the house, being the casino, right? In the be the bank strategy, we were making money off of people paying us interest from borrowing our money, borrowing our stable coin, our Solana, our Ethereum, maybe our Bitcoin, okay? Maybe a few other coins, but those are the main ones. Now we're gonna move over to being the casino, where the gamblers, they borrow our money and pay us interest on it. And when they lose, which they usually do, we also get the profits from them losing. Pretty amazing, right? One of my favorite ones over the last year has paid about 48% on stablecoin, and there's, almost $83 million, locked in here. So that's pretty well capitalized. About 48% over the last year. And that can fluctuate because some days gamblers win. And by gamblers, I mean traders, people doing longs, shorts, doing leverage, etc. But the thing is they need money, because when they take on leverage, they got to borrow money. And I'll lend you money in this safe, protected environment. Absolutely. Where every 8 hours, you're paying me interest. Every 8 hours. They're paying a nice interest rate. And when they lose their trades, which most of them do most of the time, I get the lion's share of those profits. I get to be the house. I get to be the casino. That's pretty exciting, right? So we talked about being the bank, and we talked about being the casino. Pretty amazing. There are some days when the gamblers win, but most days they don't. And over the long run, they lose pretty hard, which means the house always wins. You get to be the house. You get to be the bank, strategy 1. You get to be the house, strategy 2. And the third strategy is my favorite of all. Put a 1 in the chat if you're getting pretty excited and you're really liking this so far, the idea of being able to be the bank and being the casino. Yeah, there's some 1s coming in. And the third one is my favorite of all, but I want to go back to the previous 2, be the bank and be the house. These are primarily great ways to get yield on your cash. right? Instead of being in the bank getting 0, you can get 7, 8, 9, 10, 30% on your cash. And you don't have to do shit. You can just wait. That's why I said that this channel, my strategy, everything that I teach is more for the longer term, mind-focused, patient investor. Because I can sit here in cash and just be getting yield, let the market do its shit, and when it pukes, I can go, oh, I got a bunch of cash. I'm going to buy cheap MicroStrategy. I'm going to buy cheap Bitcoin. I'm going to buy cheap Solana. Although Solana and ETH will never be cheap because they're so incredibly overvalued for the amount of money they make. But Bitcoin is my primary focus, okay? Accumulating as much Bitcoin as I can is my primary focus. And I talked to you about the MicroStrategy thing. You guys heard me talk about that on TikTok, where you can buy Bitcoin discounted in puke times by buying MicroStrategy stock instead of Bitcoin, because MicroStrategy holds a bunch of Bitcoin. And when you can buy MicroStrategy for less than the amount of Bitcoin it holds, that's a discount. You're buying a bunch of Bitcoin. Anyways, but I also want to buy spot Bitcoin. And in the meantime, I want to be growing my cash, which is great with Be the Bank and Be the House. And this next one is about passively growing my Bitcoin holdings as well as my cash holdings. You can use it to also grow your Solana and Ethereum holdings, completely passive, hands off, pretty hands off. You still got to do some stuff in this third and final strategy, but not much. Overall, it's pretty passive. It's a beautiful thing when every day you wake up and you see, oh, I got $10 in free Bitcoin overnight and $10 in stablecoin or $10 in Solana or Ethereum. Like, wow, every day without you having to do shit or spend money, it's just coming to you. And all of this, I actually call magnetic investing, right? Because what does a magnet do? It attracts things in. So all of these strategies, Be the Bank, you put your cash here, what does it do? It sucks in, it attracts more cash because of the yield, because of the interest. When you Be the House, what happens? You put your cash there, your stable coin, it sucks in more stable coin. You become a magnet with your money and it pulls more to you. That's a pretty awesome thought, right? To be a magnet. So I call it magnetic investing. I don't know if that term's taken by anybody, but I also own the domain. I think I own like magneticinvestor.com or something like that. I'll have to look. I have a bunch of stupid domains I've never even used. Nonetheless, I've never heard anyone call it that. To me, it's the perfect analogy, become a magnetic investor, which is not what most people do. Instead of drawing things to you, most investors by far are constantly chasing, being pulled to things. Where I say, don't chase, don't be pulled, sit back and attract. Right? Is that a decent idea? Put a 5 in the chat if you like the idea of that, of being a magnetic investor, having things come to you instead of chasing them. Fives come in. This chair's so loud. So I'm going to move on to the third strategy, which I call, so the first one was Be the Bank, next one was Be the House. The third one I call Be Coinbase. Be Coinbase. Now, let me ask you, how does Coinbase make money? Drop in the comments, how does Coinbase make money? Linwood got it right away. Fees, so Daniel. Fees. Every time you buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin, buy ETH, sell ETH, buy Solana, sell Solana, or any coin, they charge a fee. And that's how they make most of their money. Well, the third strategy that I call Be Coinbase, guess what you do? Every time someone buys or sells coins, you get a fee. Are you chasing to make money? Or if you're getting a fee every time someone does a transaction, are you a magnet? You're being a magnet. So let me show you those yields that I showed you before over on TikTok. So over here, right, these are called liquidity pools. So this is a Bitcoin Tether liquidity pool, okay? So every time someone swaps their Bitcoin for Tether or Tether for Bitcoin, they pay a 0.05% fee, 0.05%. Now on Coinbase, they pay more like a 1.5% fee, right? Which is 30 times this. So the people that are coming over here to use DeFi to buy and sell and do these swaps, they're happy to do it because they're paying 1/30 of the fee they would be paying on Coinbase. And we're happy to provide the liquidity like Coinbase because we get that fee, okay? Every time they swap from that to that or that to that, they pay that fee, which is 1/30 of Coinbase's fee. And currently, it's paying about 148%. And that yield is paid to me, is paid to you in Bitcoin and stablecoin. Half of it in Bitcoin, half of it in stablecoin. So let's say I put some money in here. Let me take a quick poll real quick. If you were getting 148% on your cash and that yield is being paid to you in Bitcoin and stablecoin, how much money would you feel comfortable putting in that? Drop in the comments, let me know. I want to see where everyone's at. There isn't a right or wrong answer. You don't need to flex, just realizing that you're new at this. How much money would you want to put in something like that to start gaining that yield? 20K, 1 million, 5K, 1,000, as much as possible. That's right. I agree. Being brand new, you probably shouldn't do that. But it's not long before you figure out how to build your comfort level with it. But yeah, the point being made that, yeah, you'd want to put a good chunk of money in there. You don't want to put your rent money in. You don't want to put your bills money in. But your investing money, you'd probably want to put as much of that in here as possible if you are a big bull on Bitcoin, right? Particularly. Because this pool, like let's say I dropped, $10,000 in here, right? I'd be earning that kind of yield, and it fluctuates, right? This is a bit on the high end, kind of. I would say it's usually above 100%. I'd say it's more like 105, 110%, but sometimes it gets all the way up to 200 some percent. Depends on the demand. But typically you can bank on this averaging out to be over 100% yield, okay? Half of it's paid to you in Bitcoin, half in stablecoin. So that means if I put $10,000 in here, over the course of the year, I would expect to probably at least get back 5,000 in Bitcoin and 5,000 in stablecoin, in addition to the 10 grand I put in there, right? And it's not really how much Bitcoin do I get this year, it is, or it's really not what that Bitcoin's worth this year. It's, I just accumulated a bunch of free Bitcoin. What's that going to be worth in 5 years, in 10 years? And that stable coin that I'm acquiring also, Magnet, I'm just building that in my chest, in my war chest, for when there's a big puke in the market that I have cash to throw at it. It's such a powerful tool. To not have it and to not use it in your strategy is kind of a disaster. And I'll tell you, way less than 1% of people in crypto do this. Why? Because they don't know how. They don't know how. It's been around for about 7-8 years. I've been in DeFi for about 7 years. You're not going to find many people that have been in DeFi longer than me. I have used probably well over 1,000 protocols, and believe me, in the early days, it was way clunkier and way jankier and way shadier. Today, it's pretty well established. And there are protocols that are pretty fantastic businesses and pretty well capitalized and pretty well used. So let me show you another place too. So that was one of my favorite Bitcoin accumulation pools, right? Where I magnetized Bitcoin and stablecoin to myself. One of my favorite ones for Ethereum is over here, right? This one, you put some money in here, you're going to be getting yield paid to you in Ethereum and stablecoin. Currently, paying about 36%. Let me see if I can find some other pools over here. Let me see here. There's liquidity. Let's sort it by volume. Really, that's the most volume? That's crazy. I don't know what that is. Here's a pool right here, Bitcoin and stablecoin, right? It's got about $25 million in volume, got accumulated about over $7,000 in fees in the last 24 hours, and almost $13 million deposited. So let's go in here and see what kind of yield we could get on this. All right, looks like it's paying about 55% at this current range. That's interesting. Let's go back over here. Let's go to, look at this one, ETH and Bitcoin. So this one, if you deposit in here, your yield is getting paid to you in Ethereum and in Bitcoin, currently at about 67%. Pretty wild. Let's go back. Let's try to find, yeah, we were in this one, right? We looked in this one already. Let's look at it again. Oh, okay. So this one's paying about, this is Ethereum and USDC. So your yield's getting paid to you in those two coins. And this one's currently paying about 147%. That's pretty wild. This is probably my favorite Ethereum stablecoin pool. This is the one I thought we were in before, but I guess not. You can see why, right? Over here, Bitcoin stablecoin earning about 148%. Ethereum and stablecoin earning about 147%. And then my favorite Solana pool is over here, right? Solana USDC. And currently, in this price range anyways, it's paying 266%. And that's getting paid to me in Solana and USDC. So that means every day, it's paying me Solana USDC. On the other one, ETH and USDC. On the other one, Bitcoin and USDC. And it's paid to you like moment by moment. And you can withdraw all of it, including your yield, whenever you want. No fees, no penalties, no shit like that. You can deposit more whenever you want. All of DeFi, there's no permissions. You don't need anyone to approve anything. You can deposit, you can withdraw whenever you want. There's no fees, no penalties, nothing like that. So this is my main DCA strategy when it comes to Bitcoin. I have a good amount of capital sitting over in a Bitcoin stablecoin pool, the one I showed you actually, that's the main one I use. And every day that's paying me Bitcoin, paying me stablecoin. And again, I'm just parking money there and it's magnetizing, it's attracting Bitcoin and stablecoin. Same thing with Solana, same thing with ETH. You can see why this is my favorite strategy. And I just think it's probably the most powerful thing a long-term patient investor could possibly be doing, especially in a bear market. All right, let me look at a few questions here. What chain is it on? This stuff happens on multiple chains, right? There's a lot of different protocols that do this stuff. The main chains I use are the Solana chain, the Ethereum chain, and the Hyperliquid chain. Where do we find these pools? What other questions do we got? So those were the three main strategies. Be the bank, be the house, be Coinbase. Now the reason less than 1% of people in crypto use this is because it can be kind of complicated to learn to use at first. Believe me, I had to teach myself and I got my ass kicked, right? I made all kinds of mistakes. There was a lot of pain, but I kept going and I got good at it and I learned, okay? So the reason I'm not showing you where these pools are is because I don't want you to go rush over to them and try to go figure out how to do them yourself. Because I think you'll make a lot of mistakes. I think you could lose some money. I don't want to send you over to that. Instead, I would rather show you how to do it, right? But that's not something that I can just do on a live stream. There's more to it than that, right? There's more steps, there's more understanding, more nuance. So if you want, I did put something together to teach you and show you and actually do it with you, setting this stuff up. But I need to ask, I don't just want to dive into it. Is it okay if I show it to you, what I put together? Let me know in the chat. If it's not okay, I won't show it. But if some of you want me to show it, I'll show it. I'll tell you about it. Looks like we got a number of yeses. Okay, so I'll show it to you. And again, you know, you can always go try to learn this stuff yourself. You'll get a lot of bumps and bruises along the way trying to learn yourself, you know? And so I put a lot of thought into this. Obviously, I have a lot of experience, and I walk you through step by step how to do all this stuff. And you may even have me do it with you, like with you. Anyways, well, let me just show it to you. So I call it the Magnetic Investor Program, right? Because that's what I call all this. I call it magnetic investing. Because be the bank, be the house, be Coinbase, it's about not chasing anything, it's about attracting it to you, being a magnet, attracting more stablecoin, attracting more Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, right? And to me, you can't lose when you do it that way. And odds are you're gonna beat the pants off everybody. And it's not a competition like that. I just think that it's really hard to lose when you do things this way. I think it's really easy to win. So I call it the Magnetic Investor Program, okay? And the things you're gonna get in it is, first of all, I have step-by-step trainings. The first one is Be the Bank. These are videos, multiple videos taking you step by step on how to do this stuff, as well as showing you the exact pools or the exact sites, DeFi protocols I use, taking you step by step. I assume, by the way, that you've never done this before and you know absolutely nothing about it. So this is completely newbie friendly. It takes you from ground zero to having open, active DeFi positions and understanding how to use them, etc. Okay? So the first one is, like I said, the step-by-step video trainings for Be the Bank, right? That's where we're getting yield mostly on cash, usually somewhere around probably between 6 and 12% usually. The next one, I have step-by-step video trainings showing you how to be the house. Same thing as being the bank. I show you my favorite protocols. I show you step-by-step how to go from ground zero to setting these things up and avoiding common mistakes and pitfalls and doing it all the right way. And then finally, I have a trainings, step-by-step about being Coinbase. I show you my favorite places to do this. I show you the different nuances, the different ways to do it, the pitfalls to avoid, all of that stuff, okay? So far what you get is I put together these 3 step-by-step video trainings. Each of these have multiple videos, but there's no fluff. They are step by step. Do this, do this, do this. They save you a crap load of time. They avoid a crap load of mistakes and pitfalls and get you up and running. Any one of these, like if you wanted to be Coinbase, you could go through this training and probably be up and going in 2-3 days. Okay? Any of these you could do that. Total value, $2,991. But I thought, I don't just want to do this. I want to help you as much as possible. So I included a bonus here, which is a 3-month membership to my private community, my private school community. So that means this is basically support, right? You can reach out to me directly in that private school community. You can also chat and converse and form relationships with other people in that community. And let's be clear, these are more serious investors. These are people that have experience. They actually are the unusual type that go out and acquire skills and actually learn things and are more mature long-term mindset investors. And we also do periodic, what I call office hours. So they're video calls that are just for my community members, right? And this is where we can actually talk to each other. Not like this, where there's just comments, like we actually talk to each other. We see each other and talk. And you're just around other investors. Total value there is $600 because I charge $200 a month for that. Not something I really offer to the public very much, because I want people to go through different channels like this to kind of qualify themselves before they come in here. So people in here, they've been through steps and qualified themselves to be in here. It's a different level of investor. I say $600, but it's really worth a hell of a lot more than that, but I had to put a value on it. So again, what you're getting so far is you'll get this video step-by-step trainings for Be the Bank, Be the House, and Be Coinbase, right? And you'll get the support and community of 3 months of school, right? Including, we do, again, private live streams and stuff like that. Total value, $3,591. And I thought, how can I make this even juicier? And I thought, you know, I'm going to add in lifetime access to my custom buy sell indicator, which is about a $5,000 value. Let me pull something up real quick. Let me see where I have this. I'm going to show you this indicator. Let's go over here. Let's go to, I don't know, let's go to Bitcoin. Maybe not that Bitcoin because I don't want to mess up that chart. Let's go to this one. See, I have the buy sell indicator up here, right? And this thing's correct around a little over 70% of the time, right? Directionally. Is it say, oh, it's going to be a huge move? No, it doesn't know that. But it can tell you that the next candle or next sequence of candles is probably going to be higher than the one it popped up on or lower, right? So the buy sell signals. So let's just go back to, I don't know, let's go back to like here, right? Let's count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 candles, or 27 signals. Let's see how many of them are winners out of 27. 1, that's not. 2, 3, it went down a bit more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's a big one. 22, 23. 23 out of 27 signals there on Bitcoin were correct. In that, if it said buy, the price went up higher than the candle it called it on. If it said sell, the price went down lower than the candle it called it on. That's a very powerful tool. You can use it in a bunch of different ways. I don't trade much anymore, like trade, but you can use it in that way, and you can certainly do it on higher time frames too. I spent a long time developing that tool, and I charge $100 a month for that tool, but I'm just gonna give you lifetime access to it, right? I put at least a $5,000 value on it, okay? Because people pay about $1,200 a year to use that tool. You know, it's that few years, lifetime value, $5,000 value, easy, okay? So you get lifetime access to that. So far what you're getting all the step-by-step trainings for Be the Bank, Be the House, and Be Coinbase, all video step-by-step trainings. Perfect for if you're a newbie, takes you from 0 to being able to do it. I give you 3 months of the school community so that you can reach out to me, reach out to other members, hop on private streams, etc. And lifetime access to the buy-sell indicator, $5,000 value, total value, $8,591. But then I thought, you know, like, I've had people get the course from me before, and the course is great, right? The video trainings, they take you step by step. But the thing is that I find that if people get hung up on even one step, a lot of them will quit. And I don't want that. So then I thought, how can I make 100% sure that anyone that takes me up on this offer will definitely 100% of the time get DeFi positions set up and learn how to do this? Because that's what you really want, right? You don't want the courses, you don't want all this stuff. You want the skill to be able to use DeFi. You want to know how to do this stuff. You want to have active positions that are magnetizing Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and stablecoin to you. That's what you really want. So I thought, how can I make this 100% certain that every single person will do this, that you will do this, no doubt? And my answer came to me, and I thought, God damn it, do I want to do that? Because this is the thing I get asked for by far the most, and I never do it. I never do it, and I get asked for it every single day. But I thought, you know, if someone really wants to do this, and if they're gonna step in, I wanna make sure they do it. So I'm gonna offer it for a very limited number of people, this next bonus. And the next bonus is that I'll do it with you. You actually hop on a Zoom call with me, and I take you step by step And we do it until you have your positions open that you want to have open. I say an hour because I don't anticipate it takes more than an hour. But you'll actually get on a Zoom call with me, and I will walk you through every single little thing. We will set up the positions you want. I'll answer questions you have. I'll teach you some things on there, see the nuances and stuff like that. This is worth a ton. I put a $1,500 value on it. This isn't even something that I offer. People ask me for this every day, and I never do it. So it's at least a $1,500 value. I threw that in there, but it's for a very limited number of people. So this is the offer, right? We have the step-by-step video trainings. Be the bank, be the house, be Coinbase. These are yours to keep forever. You get 3 months of the school communities to support. You can reach out to me, interact with other serious investors. And again, this isn't even something I really offer. People go through stuff like this to get in this community. So they have to go through filters and show they're serious before they can even get offered to be in here, which is what you're doing here. Very different level of investor, different quality of person. And you get lifetime access to the buy-sell indicator. You saw how accurate and valuable that is. And for a limited number of people, right? Anyone on this call, but I'm only gonna offer this for a limited time, you get a Zoom call with me. I say hour, maybe it takes more, maybe it takes less, I don't know, but we'll be on there together and I'll be doing it with you to set these things up, okay? Total value, $10,091. Okay? I'm obviously not gonna charge that though. But if I did, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Really think about it. I'll say this, if you learned about this a year ago, you would have already made more money than that, okay? So when you think about the Bitcoin you'll be accumulating, the Ethereum you'll be accumulating, the Solana, the stablecoin, what's the value of those things over time? A lot more than that. Is that fair to say? Like if you accumulate $5,000 in Bitcoin using the Coinbase strategy this year, is it fair to say that in a couple years, it's probably going to be worth 10, 15, 20,000? I think that's pretty damn likely. Not to mention the cash you're accumulating over there, that has just pure value to it, and you can deploy it into buying other assets, right? And what's it worth to stop chasing everything, trying to find the next coin to go up and do this, when you just get to learn how to sit back and know that every day you have Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, stablecoin just coming to you, right? People pay multiple six figures to spend 4 years of their life to get a college degree that never teaches them about money. This is acquiring an actual skill for you that creates passive income, really, and it's passive investment income. It brings you Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and stablecoin. This is all passive income. Just by learning how to put your money in DeFi and letting it work for you and allowing you to be the bank, be the house, be Coinbase. Is that worth 10 grand? Hell yes it is, and you know it is. So then I thought, what should I actually charge? I thought about charging $4,000, which to me was a no-brainer. Like $4,000, I've spent all these years learning this stuff. I've spent all this time putting it together in these videos for you to learn it in a very expedited, expertise way and be able to implement it fast. You get the indicator, you get the community, you get the call with me to actually do it with you. $4,000 to get this stuff up and running and stop being left in the dark, like definitely. But then I thought, maybe that's still a little out of reach for a lot of people. So then I thought 2,000, right? And I thought that's probably the right price. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer for all that stuff, and not even all that stuff. Again, it's about acquiring the skill. How much not having the skill has cost you? Again, imagine if you knew how to do this a year ago. How much would have that skill paid you in the last year? How long do you want to go on not having this skill? Because that's what you really want. $2,000 to acquire this skill? Easy. That's some people, that's like a couple months car payment for some people. Like, and they don't bat an eye at that, and that doesn't make them any. $2,000 to learn a skill that actually makes you money passively? Easy. But, you know, inflation, all this stuff. And I thought, maybe I should lower it even more. Maybe I should make this enough that it's enough to make sure someone's serious, but it makes it an unbelievable no-brainer, you know? And, you know, it's not going to be 4,000. It's not even going to be 2,000. And I want to remind you what you're getting. You're getting all these step-by-step video trainings, right? Yours to keep forever, right? Now, no fluff. They take you step by step, even if you're a total newbie. I expect all of you to not know anything about this. That's how I built these, so that everyone could use it. If you're already a DeFi master, then this stuff isn't for you. But if you don't know how to do this stuff, this is absolutely for you, right? All of these trainings showing you how to be the bank, be the house, be Coinbase, and you get 3 months of the school community also. So that's support for 3 months, which is awesome. You get access to me and other serious investors, lifetime access to the indicator, and you get the Zoom call with me. Is there any doubt in your mind that if you're on a Zoom call with me, that you can get this stuff set up? Because the call is not going to end till you get your stuff set up, because I'm going to do it with you. Total value, $10,091. I mean, I call it magnetic investing, but I mean, it's really a money printer, right? Because if you're putting your money in one place and it's printing you money every day, printing you Bitcoin, printing you ETH, Solana, and stablecoin, it's a money printer. And now that you know a money printer exists, can you really accept not having it? Or do you feel that I need this money printer? Like, a money printer exists, I need it. A Bitcoin printer, an ETH and Solana printer, I need that. I can't not have that. Look at how much it's costing you to not have it. If you learned this stuff a year ago, imagine how much you would have from that. And this just keeps paying you and paying you and paying you. So it seems silly to me that you know a money printer exists and you don't have it. And I want to be clear, there's two choices. You can go try to learn this on your own, but it's going to be bumpier. It's going to be potholed. You're going to get beat up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to lose money. There's no free way of doing this. You're going to pay an extra time, an extra pain, and it's still going to cost you money. Or you can pay a small toll. Take this nice, beautiful road led by an expert myself, and just take the nice, smooth, easiest road to acquiring this skill. Choice is yours. Make whatever you want. I'm going to limit it to 50 spots, right? Because getting on those calls with people, that's not something I usually offer, and I'm only going to have a limited number of spots. And I may even lower this, the number of spots. But you'll get everything. The step-by-step video trainings for Be the Bank, Be the House, Be Coinbase, lifetime access to the indicator, 3 months in the school community, and the Zoom call with me to have me with you setting up these positions for just one payment of $9.97. Just go to dailycryptobull.com, and actually, I want to remind you everything you get, but there's also a payment plan. But I want to remind you everything you get. You get the trainings, step-by-step video trainings, Be the Bank, Be the House, Be Coinbase, yours to keep forever. You get 3 months of the school community. You get lifetime access to the indicator, and you get the call with me so that you 100% will get your positions set up, and you'll have support to help you ongoingly. dailycryptobull.com, only $9.97. And recently I decided, how can I make this even easier for people? If you can't do the $9.97, there should be a payment plan on here. 3 payments of $375. So you can get started for as little as $375, but you'll get a bit of a discount if you just pay the full amount. And I promise you, not having this skill is costing you a lot more than you can even imagine. It really is. So that's the offer there. You get all these trainings, you get 3 months of the school community, lifetime access to the indicator, and you get the Zoom call with me. So there should be no doubt in your mind that you will get this stuff set up. dailycryptobull.com, 1 payment of $9.97 or 3 payments of $375, okay? And again, I'm extremely undervaluing this, but this is enough that I can commit to giving a ton of resources as well as my own time to help you set this up, and then ongoing time to help you with anything that you need in the school community. And then of course you have these trainings to always reference all the time, okay? But again, all that stuff over here, dailycryptobull.com. One payment of $9.97 or 3 payments of $375, okay? Let's see some questions here. So it would take a year to ROI. I'm not sure in reference to what. And if we enter a bear market, it could be longer to ROI. We're in a bear market. You don't need a bull run anymore if you're collecting. Yeah, you don't even need a bull run if you're collecting 100% a year. Exactly. If we do the math out here, it's pretty obvious. Like in bear markets, we're in DCA mode. We're long-term thinking. We're long-term investors and we're patient. So we're trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And so we can put cash over here and be accumulating Bitcoin and stablecoin every day, Ethereum and Solana every day, right? And it's not even necessarily what that's worth this year. It's worth, what's it worth in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? Not having this skill is costing you a ton. And the easiest, fastest route to acquiring it is to have someone that knows how to do it help you. And I hope I've demonstrated that I know what I'm talking about. And that's why you even get the Zoom call with me, so that you will 100% get your position set up. And then you got 3 months of support in the school community. And you can choose to stay in the school community after that too. But that's why I included the 3 months of the school community, right? And you get those trainings to always reference back to. Not having this skill is extremely costly. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, you know it is. If you had learned this a year ago, depending on how much you have to put into these, right? You've probably missed out on easily thousands of dollars of Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and stablecoin, not knowing how to do this. And remember, this is pretty much passive. Without having to chase things, you're being a magnet, being a magnetic investor. Daniel says, but if spot price goes down, you're thinking way too short term, Daniel. Way too short term. Like I said, my channel is for a longer term investor, right? I expect the price. I have the probabilities that the price of Bitcoin is gonna go down this year further. But next year, up more. Year after that, up even more. So it's these returns where you wanna buy things in the bear market. I'm not a guy that says, hey, we need to buy the exact bottom. I don't care. I buy things at good value. And if I'm sitting here acquiring Bitcoin for free every day and stablecoin for free and ETH and Solana for free every day, in what world wouldn't someone do that? They'd only not do it if they didn't know how. And I'm offering the easiest, fastest, safest route to acquiring the skill. And this is a skill you keep forever. And Brian, again, that was a good point. He says you only need a bull run if you're collecting over 100%. Although you will still get bull runs, right? And so all this that goes on in the bear market in particular will pay exponentially going into the bull run, all the Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana that you've acquired for free. And I got to get out of here in about 10 minutes. I got to get out of here in about 10 minutes. So when this stream is over, this offer goes away. You'll go to a page and there won't be anything to get, right? This page, wherever the hell it went, this page, it won't be there anymore. You have to get it on this because I like action takers. I don't like to promote or encourage procrastination. You know you want this. You know how much it's costing you to not have this skill. You know this is the safest, fastest, most efficient route to acquiring the skill. Are you going to procrastinate or take action? There's the link, dailycryptobull.com. And like I showed you over here, I also offer a payment plan, 3 payments of $375. So you can start for as little as $375, but you get a discount if you pay for the whole thing up front. So what's stopping you, right? You probably have car payments that are more than this. Some of you might have car payments that are more than this. That doesn't make you money. This is acquiring a skill that actually makes you money every single day for years and years and years to come. dailycryptobull.com. I mean, I feel like I'm being pretty logical. And, I had to really to include that Zoom call with me. That's not something I particularly like doing, But I thought, if I'm going to offer this, I want to make sure every single person that gets it acquires this skill and gets positions on, and then gets some ongoing support. That's what the school community is for. So I'm going out of my way, spending time to do it with you. There's no doubt that you'll be able to acquire the skill. So that's really what you're doing. It's, should I buy this skill? Is that a skill that's worth $1,000? Fuck yes it is, and you know it is. Simple math. Can you chat with me privately? Not really. In the school community, yes. But if you have any questions, drop them. Drop them in here. I'll answer them. But that's the offer, and it goes away in about 7 minutes. I do not reward or encourage procrastination. I really try to put people to taking action, because that's the way you actually help yourself. And this skill is worth way more than $1,000, right? I mean, let's say this. Let's say I don't sell private chats, Daniel. I really don't. That's what I'm saying. This is the only way to get it. So you want a private chat? Just go buy it. So Bitcoin and stablecoin here, right? So let's say you put $5,000 in here. So over the course of the year, you're probably going to acquire $2,000 to $3,000 in Bitcoin and $2,000 to $3,000 cash. And you'll still have the money you put in there. And it would have been largely passive. In what world is that not worth $1,000? Right? If you're an investor, there's nothing that pays you more than investing in yourself, investing in acquiring skills that pay you money, investing in sharpening skills that pay you even more money. Nothing pays you more than that. Chasing coins is going to do what it's basically probably always done for you, is lose you money and cause you stress. Where over here, you can acquire a skill. And again, I offer a payment plan, 3 payments of $375. And you can acquire it almost instantly. And now you are in a very small, less than 1% of people in crypto that know how to do this. Not that that matters. Is this a skill worth buying? I think you know it is. So what's stopping you? You got 5 minutes, and then the offer goes away, because I'm going to end the stream, and then the offer's gone. I strongly encourage action. I never do procrastination. You got 3 days to think about it. I don't do that. I'm like, right here, I showed it all to you. You know it's valuable. You know you want it. Get it. Get out of your own way and just get it. Or not. I'm not going to reward procrastination. I just don't do that. And also, when you come into my school community, think about that. Are there a bunch of procrastinators in there? No. There are action takers in there. There are doers in there. Are you a doer, or are you a procrastinator? Are you an action taker, or do you put things off? Do you take opportunities, or do you let them slip by? Do you acquire skills, or do you just gamble? That's the truth of it. Well, Daniel, if you want to, that's the only thing I'm offering right now. dailycryptobull.com. Okay? And I don't sell a private chat. The only way to get it is to do this, to set up the positions. Any other questions for me in here? You got about 4 minutes and then I'm ending the stream and the offer goes away. And then you're still, you're not getting that passive income. I don't know how else to put it. Like if you had learned this a year ago, imagine where you'd be today. Imagine how much Bitcoin you would have acquired for free, or Solana and ETH if that's your bag, and stablecoin no matter what. Like it's, in terms of, would you put $1,000 right here to acquire thousands of dollars over the next 1 or 2 years? And you could do a lot more. You know, you got 10,000 to put into a liquidity pool. Well, that's probably going to pay you upwards of $10,000 to $15,000 over the year. And it's going to keep paying you years after that because you'll have the skill. So to acquire that skill for $1,000, like, what's stopping you? I really mean that. There's a few of you still on here. The offer goes away in 3 minutes. Goes away in 3 minutes. You know, I'm a strong believer that the things that are the most valuable assets for us are skills that we have. It doesn't really matter if you're a novice or not, Daniel. Like this is the offer. I don't do private calls. That's what I said. Like people ask me for this every day and I never do it. This is the only way I'm doing it. And it's going to be focused on setting up these positions. If that doesn't work for you, you know, that doesn't work for you. I'm looking for people that know they want this and will take action. That's really what I'm doing. And I don't know how long I'm going to offer this for. You know, will I offer this again? I don't know. This is something new I'm trying out that I really had to like put a lot of myself in to do. Daniel, to be straight with you, man, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do. Like, if you go join, if you take me up on this offer, well, yeah, you'll get an email from me and stuff like that. But I don't know why. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but I'm not offering it. The only thing I'm offering is this. That's it. Because to me, there isn't a more valuable thing a crypto investor couldn't have. There's not a more valuable skill. There's not more valuable knowledge than knowing how to use DeFi. And yet still less than 1% of people in crypto know how to use it because they'll go spend thousands of dollars on a random fucking meme coin and lose it all. But then when it comes to acquiring a real skill that pays them every day, acquires Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and stablecoin for them every day, they won't pay $1,000 to learn from an expert and just take on that skill. No, but those are the people, but some people will. And frankly, the most successful, logical people will. And I like being around those people. And that's who the school community has in it. People like that, you know? Well, I'm not a scammer, you know? What do? You pay $1,000, and if I'm a scammer, what happens? You just call your credit card company and you get the money back. You know, that's that. But if you're leery of me, like, you know, fine, I don't care. I mean, I don't mean to be flippant. I'm just, I know I like action takers, and I feel like I'm very transparent. I feel like I'm very forthcoming. I'm very present. And, you know, what do I have to gain from your $1,000 of being a scammer? That doesn't make any sense. So what I'm offering is exactly what I'm offering. And is $1,000 even a lot of money? Fuck no, it's not. $1,000? Yeah, 25 years ago, that was a good chunk of money. But today, $1,000? Like many people's car payments, regular people's car payment is $1,000 a month, which is a terrible investment for them, but whatever. $1,000 isn't even much money. And then I still offer the payment plan. right? 375, 3 payments of it. So it's like by the time you're even done paying for it, you've already probably accumulated back a good chunk of that investment. And it's not an expense. Acquiring a skill that pays you is not an expense, it's an investment in yourself. And nothing has ever paid for me more, has ever made me a better ROI in my life than investing in myself, than investing in my skills, acquiring skills and strengthening skills. Nothing comes even close to giving me that kind of return. No meme coin, no crypto coin, no stock, no real estate, nothing. Nothing's even come close to giving me the ROI that skills do. And this is a fucking very valuable skill. And you can have it easy. You can go learn it yourself, but it's not going to be free. You know, you're going to have pain, you're going to have mistakes, it's going to take you more time, you're probably going to lose some money making those mistakes. So it's better to just go the faster, easier, guided route, in my opinion. And $1,000 ain't shit. It just isn't. But it's enough to show me you're serious, especially if I'm going to hop on a call and walk you through it, you know? Like you in your content, you're saying all the right things and learned plenty in the past hour. Just say hi on the phone and confirm you're legit, no vice to me. No, definitely not. Daniel, I don't hop on the phone. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, do or don't. Like, I don't, tell you what, if I was a scammer, I would get on the phone with you. I would give you exactly what you're asking for. I'm not a scammer, so I don't care. I'm trying to get you over the fence for yourself, but I'm gonna end the, oh shit, I gotta end the call. So that means the offer's gone, and like, I was gonna end it 3 minutes ago. So I'm gonna end it. You know, it's the type of thing where it's $1,000. If $1,000 is gonna really hurt you, then don't get this, okay? If $1,000 is gonna really hurt you and it's gonna take from your rent money or something, don't do this, don't buy it. That's what I'm saying. Because you're gonna need to put some money into the positions, right? Do you need to put a ton? No, as a matter of fact, in the beginning, you shouldn't put in very much at all, right? Just to build your comfort level. And those are the types of things we go through in the step-by-step trainings I tell you about. And then same thing in the call with me. That's what we do is I pull you back. Most people, I pull them back, say, no, I know you want to put this much in, but put in less just so you can build your comfort level. Stuff like that, you know? You don't care. Yeah, Daniel. I mean, I can't care more than you do. That's what I mean. Be well, Daniel. All right, y'all. I'm heading out. Boy, I'm a little late, so I really do got to get out of here. Here's what I'll do. Because I'm not going to have time to go to the site and turn this off because I got to like run out of here now. I'm going to leave this up for like 15 more minutes as I pack up and get out of here and get back home. But when I get back home, I'm going to shut off the offer, okay? That means this page here, dailycryptobull.com, none of this will be here. It'll just say offer gone. So you got about 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to get it because I really got to run out of here. All right, there's the link, dailycryptobull.com. I hope to see some of you on the other side. I really do. All right, y'all, take care.